Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be reviewing Cruella from Disney Villainous. If you like my content, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to support me in other ways, you can also become a member of Mythical Meeples or support me on Patreon. There's links below. If you do either of these things, you'll gain access to more content, sneak previews and behind the scenes from me. As I said before, today I'll be reviewing Cruella De Vil from Perfectly Wretched for Disney Villainous. Before I talk about Cruella though, I want to talk a little bit about Perfectly Wretched. So internally this box feels very well balanced, all the villains are very similar in difficulty, and their condition cards harmonise well with the other villains in this box. However, I feel this box is much more challenging than the other ones within the range, although I enjoy the challenge despite how frustrating it can be. Experienced players will definitely find Perfectly Wretched refreshing if they're getting bored of the game, although new players may struggle with it, especially the condition cards if they're playing against villains that aren't from this box. So back to Cruella. So for me, Cruella is a medium difficulty villain out of easy, medium and hard, but she definitely leans towards the hard end of the spectrum and could possibly be put into that category. She is the strongest of the villains within Perfectly Wretched, but struggles more against villains from some of the earlier sets. She's great fun to play, and trying to capture puppies is different to most of the other villains' goals, who want to kill the heroes or take over the world in some way or another. Unfortunately, Cruella struggles to fate other villains and achieve her goal, as her fate actions are in different locations to her move and item or ally actions. She can't always stop another villain from winning without stopping herself from winning. Playing Cruella against the Evil Queen is the only time we've called the game a draw, because Cruella has fated Evil Queen enough that the only cards left in Evil Queen's fate deck were Love's First Kiss and Woodland Creatures, with Doc being killed repeatedly and then put back into the fate deck only to be played again. However, Cruella couldn't achieve her own goal because she couldn't get our allies and puppies into the same location, which in the end we just decided to call the game a draw. Overall, I do enjoy Cruella. She is a challenging villain to play as, but I like her unique goal and the way to capture puppies, I think is really interesting. Unfortunately, I feel like there's a lot of niche cards within her deck, and this makes her a bit weaker than other villains. Speaking of cards though, I'm going to talk about my top 3 cards for Cruella. First card I'm going to talk about is the Telephone. So I find the Telephone an exceptional card within Cruella's deck, and the perfect way to get rid of heroes, indirectly. You pay 1 power to bring Horace or Jasper back from your discard pile and put them directly into play. This way you don't have to worry about drawing Fireplace Poker or you idiots to keep Horace and Jasper in play. Even a single use of Telephone means it's paid for itself, as Horace and Jasper cost 2 and 3 power respectively. So Telephone doesn't seem that strong, and to start with it got very overlooked, but as I played more and more I realised how useful this card was. Just to play it, use Horace or Jasper to defeat the heroes if you haven't got Fireplace Pokers, and then bring them back where you need them to be. For instance, if they're at Hell Hall, you could then bring them back to Radcliffe House, which if your puppy tokens are there is really useful. So my second card is Get the Job Done. Activates are so vital to Cruella's gameplay. It's really important to activate as often as possible, and with this card you can activate twice in a turn, by either playing 2 copies of this card at Countryside, or by playing 1 copy at Redcliffe House or Hell Hall and using the activate that is there. It also allows you to activate when the location may be covered by a hero, as both activate spots are at the top of the board. This card is also a really good target of the Devil Take It, so that you get it back and can use it again. Cruella has a lot of cards that need to be activated, such as Horace Jasper, the previously seen Telephone, among others, and just being able to activate whenever you need to is so useful. My final card for my top 3 is I Live First. So Cruella really struggles to gain power, and with this card you gain power based on how many locations have puppy tokens. As Cruella only has 3 locations where she can gain power, she can often end up with a very limited supply of power. However, As there are many cards that let you take puppy tokens from the supply, you can easily generate 3 or 4 power with this card. I often wait until I have 2 of these cards in my hand before moving to my countryside and playing both in a turn to generate a lot of power in one turn. This card can also be a good target for the Devil Take It if you're running low on power, as you can get it back for 1 power, use it to gain 3 or 4 power and give yourself a net of 2 or 3 power. This might seem a strange card to put into my top 3, but considering Cruella has a location where she can't gain any power, 2 locations where she only gains 1, and 1 location where she gains 3, this is why I've included it. Which you can see on the board here, the different locations that we've got. So you might be thinking now that I haven't included in my top 3 any cards that relate to gaining puppy tokens. And I want to make a special mention for Horace and Jasper. So it's practically impossible to win without these 2 allies, as they are your main way of capturing puppies. Horace is doubly useful, as he can find and capture puppies, costing nothing to do so, unlike the flashlight. Unlike the flashlight, Horace can't be discarded by reckless driving either, so it means he can stay in play and you don't have to worry about him being discarded, unless you use him to defeat heroes. I tend to use Jasper for vanquishing heroes, and then use the telephone to get him back, playing him to a location with 2 puppy tokens before activating him. If I have 1, I'll then use Get the Job Done to activate him in the same turn as well. So your goal with Horace and Jasper should be to find and play these as soon as you can. They're a good defense against heroes, they're your only allies, so you need them to defeat heroes, and they're your main way of getting puppies. The reason I haven't included these in my top 3 is because you basically can't win without them. So it'd be very, very easy to just go Horace number 1, Jasper number 2, and then have a third card. I thought I'd make this review more interesting by looking at cards that don't directly achieve your goal, but are still really useful to have. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it useful as well. If you do like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget you can support me by becoming a member of Mythical Meeples or by becoming a patron. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.